Cell. Cell is one of the most advanced creations of Dr. Gero. What makes him terrifying is that he requires no training. Simply by absorbing energy and devouring targets, he can evolve to higher levels of power. When Cell first appeared, he was an incomplete being, taking on a grotesque insect-like form. But with a predator's instinct, he devised a plan to absorb Android 17 and Android 18-inch order to achieve his perfect form. On that journey, he mercilessly drained the lives of countless innocent people. Each victim consumed became fuel for his evolution. Cell's danger lay in his ability to suppress his ki, rendering the Z-Fighters, despite their fury, completely helpless in tracking him. Eventually, his plan succeeded. He absorbed 17 and 18, reached his perfect form, and instead of destroying everything immediately, he announced the Cell Games, challenging Earth's strongest warriors. During the tournament, Cell created Cell Jr.'s miniature clones that were shockingly brutal, nearly defeating the entire Z-Fighter team. However, when he crushed Android 16, it inadvertently triggered Gohan's rage, unleashing the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, a power far beyond anything Cell had anticipated. Overwhelmed, Cell desperately activated his self-destruct mode in an attempt to take everyone down with him. Goku sacrificed himself, teleporting Cell to King Kai's planet, where the explosion occurred. It seemed to be the end, but thanks to his Saiyan cells, Cell resurrected even stronger and returned to Earth. However, his fate was sealed. Gohan unleashed his full power into a single Kamehameha, erasing Cell from existence and ending his quest for domination once and for all. Frost. In Dragon Ball Super, there is a character who immediately reminds many fans of Frieza. That character is Frost. With an almost identical appearance and belonging to the same Frieza race, the truth is, they hail from two different universes and share no blood relation whatsoever. Frost presents himself as a righteous hero of Universe 6, but in reality, he is cunning, manipulative, and willing to use any means to achieve his goals. He skillfully hides his true nature behind a kind and noble facade, deceiving many. During the tournament between Universe 6 and Universe 7, Frost faced Goku. At first, the battle seemed balanced, and everyone expected Goku to win due to his superior strength. But Frost resorted to cheating. He secretly used a poison needle, stunning Goku and knocking him out of the ring to claim a disgraceful victory. The truth was soon exposed. Frost wasn't a hero, but a selfish opportunist, ready to betray anyone for personal gain. He later participated in the Tournament of Power. By then, he was comparable to Frieza's Namek Saga form, but completely outclassed by Golden Frieza, whose power rivaled Super Saiyan Blue. Interestingly, Frieza used Frost's own tricks against him, calling him a small-time character and luring him into a trap. When Frost angrily retaliated in violation of the rules, Zeno immediately erased him, nearly taking down Universe 6 with him. Thanks to the Super Dragon Balls, the universes were restored after the tournament, and Frost was revived along with them. But his future remains bleak. In Universe 6, both the Saiyans and the Assassin Hit are far stronger than he is. If Frost doesn't find a way to surpass them, he will inevitably be cast aside, and this time, no one can guarantee he'll have another chance to return. Granola. Granola emerged as one of the most controversial characters. He is the last surviving member of the Cerealian race, a people known for their extraordinary vision. Their homeworld was destroyed when Frieza allied with the Heater family, using the power of the Saiyans in their Great Ape form to devastate planet Cereal. That massacre was forever etched into Granola's mind, transforming into a lifelong grudge against both the Saiyans and Frieza. Upon discovering the Cereal Dragon Balls, which consisted of only 2 orbs, Granola didn't wish for wealth or power, but chose to become the strongest warrior in the universe. The price he paid was a drastically shortened lifespan, leaving him only 3 years to live. In return, his power reached a level where even Ultra Instinct Goku, not yet perfected, had to stay on the defensive, and Ultra Ego Vegeta struggled to hold his ground. With his Cerealian eyes, Granola could see the weak points of any opponent and strike with absolute precision. At first, Granola was an unstoppable force, relentlessly pushing Goku and Vegeta to their limits. But then, the truth came to light. Frieza was the one who ordered the destruction of the Cerealian race, while the Saiyans were merely tools under the Heater's command. Realizing this, Granola was forced to set aside his hatred and join forces with Goku and Vegeta to face Gas, the newly created strongest warrior of the Heater family. This reluctant alliance led to intense battles, where Granola was no longer a lone predator, but a comrade fighting to protect life itself. Still, his time continued to slip away, irreversible. At the very least, Granola chose to spend his final days doing what was right. Gas. Gas a short name, but his power is anything but short. As the strongest warrior of the Heater family, Gas served under Elec, the cunning eldest brother who orchestrated deals and schemes to seize power across the universe. Even in his normal state, Gas was powerful enough to make any opponent cautious, but like Granola, he turned to the cereal Dragon Balls to amplify his power. With a single wish, Gas became the strongest warrior in the universe, surpassing all previous limits. His newfound power not only enhanced his physical abilities, but also granted him the ability to create energy weapons from spears and warhammers to complex energy constructs capable of piercing the defenses of top-tier fighters. Gas was a master of both close quarters and ranged combat, with speed and strength that made the battlefield feel suffocating every time he appeared. In battle, Gas relentlessly overwhelmed Goku, Vegeta, and Granola, forcing them to put aside their grudges and unite against him. However, the strength granted by his wish wasn't free. It came at the cost of drastically shortening his lifespan, causing his body to age rapidly in the middle of the fight. Just when it seemed he had secured his position as the universe's top force, Gas was confronted by someone he never expected: Black Frieza. With a single punch, Frieza ended Gas's life faster than the time it took to grant his wish. A swift, brutal conclusion so sudden that if you blinked, you might have missed the entire scene. Janemba. Janemba is one of the rare villains in Dragon Ball who manages to be both fascinating and terrifying. He possesses two completely contrasting forms. In his initial state, Janemba appears as a giant, chubby child with an innocent smile and a playful demeanor. He transforms hell into a bizarre, colorful world, where everything bends and distorts at his whim, as if he's playing a massive cosmic joke. But don't be fooled by his seemingly cute appearance. Beneath that childlike shell lies a malevolent entity with power beyond imagination. In his battle with Goku, Janemba doesn't engage head-on like typical villains. Instead, he plays with his opponent, unleashing unpredictable attacks and conjuring cube-shaped energy constructs to block and deflect Goku's strikes, constantly keeping him on the defensive. This chaotic and illogical fighting style forces Goku to ascend to Super Saiyan 3. When cornered, Janemba transforms into his second form, a demonic warrior with a sleek build, red skin, piercing eyes, and golden armor. If his first form represents mischievous chaos, this one is a perfect blend of speed, power, and ruthless strategy. He doesn't utter a single word, only twisted laughter and eerie sounds, as if trying to break his opponent's spirit before delivering the final blow. To Janemba, victory isn't just about defeating the enemy, it's about crushing their will entirely. Majin Buu is one of the most unique and terrifying villains in Dragon Ball Z. In his original form, Kid Buu, he is the pure embodiment of destruction. No reason, no emotion, just an unrelenting drive to annihilate everything. Unlike other villains who act out of a desire for domination or revenge, Kid Buu has no interest in goals or motives. He exists solely to destroy. Because of this, even Bibidi, the one who created him, was never able to fully control this monster. What makes Kid Buu especially dangerous is his absolute survival instinct. He cannot tolerate the existence of anyone stronger than himself and constantly seeks to absorb the strength of his opponents to evolve into a more perfect form. On his rampage of destruction, Kid Buu slaughtered countless beings, killing both the West Supreme Kai and the North Supreme Kai, before absorbing the South Supreme Kai and the Grand Supreme Kai. However, the kindness of the Grand Supreme Kai had a profound impact on him, transforming him into Fat Buu, a less aggressive version. The most frightening aspect of Buu isn't just his overwhelming power, but his near-infinite regeneration. Whether he's sliced in half, blown to pieces, or reduced to ashes, as long as even a tiny fragment remains, he can instantly regenerate. His absorption ability is also a deadly weapon. He turns his enemies into part of his own body, while gaining their intelligence and skills. This made the battle against Buu extremely difficult, as the Z-Fighters continuously lost their strongest allies. The final showdown between Son Goku and Kid Buu took place on the sacred world of the Kais, a place where no one else could intervene. Despite Goku and Vegeta giving it their all, they were unable to defeat him through conventional means. In the end, Goku chose to use the Spirit Bomb, gathering energy from across the universe, with the help of Vegeta, Mr. Satan, and the other Z-Fighters. This ultimate attack completely eradicated Kid Buu, finally ending the universe's nightmare. However, before delivering the final blow, Goku made a heartfelt wish. He hoped Buu would be reincarnated as a good person so they could face each other again. That wish came true. Kid Buu was reborn as a human boy named Oob, possessing immense hidden power but with a pure heart. Recognizing that potential, Goku decided to become his mentor, training Oob to be a powerful warrior who would protect Earth. Zamasu. Zamasu is not just a villain who seeks to destroy the world, he sees himself as the embodiment of absolute justice, a justice built on the extreme belief that anything opposing his ideals is evil and must be eradicated. This fanaticism led Zamasu down a path of no return. Originally an apprentice Supreme Kai of Universe 10, Zamasu possessed exceptional intelligence and power. Under the guidance of Supreme Kai Gowasu, he was once chosen as a promising successor, destined for a glorious future. However, from the beginning, Zamasu harbored a deep hatred toward mortals, believing them to be ignorant, greedy, and unworthy of divine protection. Though Gowasu tried to change his mindset, every word of guidance only reinforced Zamasu's belief that mortals were the root of all chaos. Driven by this twisted conviction, Zamasu launched the Zero Mortals Plan, a purge of all humanity, to protect the justice of the divine realm. To carry it out, he used the Super Dragon Balls to switch bodies with Son Goku from an alternate timeline, becoming Goku Black, and mercilessly killed Goku and his family. Not stopping there, Zamasu traveled to future Trunks' timeline and slaughtered all the Supreme Kais of that universe. He allied with an alternate version of himself, Immortal Zamasu, who had also used the Super Dragon Balls to gain complete immortality. The fusion of Immortal Zamasu's body and Goku Black's power turned him into an enemy nearly impossible to destroy. Even when Goku, Vegeta, and future Trunks joined forces, they couldn't end the threat with conventional power. In the end, it took the intervention of the Grand Zeno to finally put an end to Zamasu's ambition. Broly. Broly first appeared in the two classic Dragon Ball Z movies, and quickly became one of the most beloved villains in the universe. He is the legendary Super Saiyan, a warrior who appears only once every millennium, possessing absolute power and nearly limitless potential. What makes Broly truly terrifying is not just his overwhelming strength, but his ability to continuously grow stronger during battle, adapt, and surpass any opponent. If the fight drags on, defeat is inevitable for you. From birth, Broly was completely different. His innate power level far exceeded that of any other Saiyan child, to the point that King Vegeta, father of Prince Vegeta, saw him as a potential threat. As a result, Broly and his father Paragus were exiled to a desolate planet. The harsh years they endured there fueled both his strength and his resentment. Interestingly, before transforming, Broly is a different person. Calm, quiet, even somewhat innocent. He longs for friendship, connection, and a peaceful life. But when pushed to his limits or provoked by intense emotions, Broly's rational mind collapses and the monster within is unleashed. Once he enters the legendary Super Saiyan state, Broly becomes a whirlwind of destruction, fighting purely on instinct and leveling everything in his path. That power follows no rules. It only escalates with time, with no apparent ceiling. It's this combination of unmatched strength, fierce survival instinct, and total loss of control that makes Broly a true nightmare of the universe, a being even the strongest warriors tread carefully around. Beerus. Beerus first appeared in Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods, introduced as the all-powerful god of destruction of Universe 7, a being capable of erasing entire planets with just a single touch. From the moment of his debut, Beerus stunned audiences by defeating Super Saiyan 3 Goku with just one blow, showcasing the immense power gap between a god and the Z fighters. Driven by a dream of encountering the Super Saiyan god, Beerus, along with his angel attendant Whis, came to Earth in search of this legendary warrior. After unlocking the power of Super Saiyan God, Goku engaged Beerus in a battle that shook the very heavens. Though stronger than ever, Goku still could not overcome the god of destruction. Instead of fulfilling his promise to destroy Earth, Beerus decided to spare the planet, leaving everyone with a mix of relief and lingering fear. Since then, Beerus has gradually shifted from a pure antagonist to a more neutral role, part observer, part reluctant mentor to Goku and Vegeta. Under Beerus's watch and Whis' training, both Saiyans have ascended to new heights of power, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. In the Tournament of Power, Beerus didn't intervene directly, but he witnessed fighters who came close to or even surpassed the strength of some gods of destruction. This revealed an undeniable truth. A new era of strength was emerging. Though no longer acting as a direct enemy, Beerus remains a constant looming threat. To this day, his full power has never been revealed. Will Goku, Vegeta, or another warrior eventually be able to defeat Beerus? The answer remains a mystery. Jiren. Jiren, the strongest member of the Pride Troopers and the pride of Universe 11, is praised as a warrior whose power surpasses even that of God of Destruction Belmod. But behind his image of invincibility lies a blood-stained past filled with loss, one that forged his iron will and closed-off heart. As a child, Jiren witnessed his family, master, and loved ones slaughtered by a mysterious force. That tragedy not only robbed him of his childhood but also instilled in him an unshakable belief. Only absolute strength can protect everything. He threw himself into relentless training, but even as he grew stronger, he continued to face loss. Comrades who once vowed to fight alongside him eventually abandoned him one by one. From that point on, Jiren chose the path of fighting alone, trusting no one but himself. In the Tournament of Power, Jiren quickly proved why he was considered invincible. He single-handedly took on Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken x 20 Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, and still dominated with ease. His overwhelming strength pushed every opponent to the brink of despair until Goku unlocked Mastered Ultra Instinct, forcing Jiren into a position of vulnerability for the first time. The final battle was one of the most intense moments in Dragon Ball history. Even after unleashing his full power, Jiren couldn't surpass his own limits. When Goku collapsed from exhaustion, Frieza and Android 17 joined forces to eliminate Jiren, bringing his tournament journey to a close. That defeat didn't tarnish Jiren's honor, it changed his perspective. Once believing that only absolute strength could bring justice, he came to realize that trust and comradeship are just as vital. After the tournament, Jiren remained Universe 11's undefeated warrior, but this time, he no longer fought alone. Moro, known as the Planet Eater, is an ancient sorcerer who has existed for over 10 million years and first appeared in the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc of Dragon Ball Super. Unlike any enemy before him, Moro introduced a new combat system, a deadly fusion of dark magic and godly power. Moro's most terrifying ability is his power to absorb life energy from planets, living beings, and even opponents during battle. The stolen energy is instantly converted into strength, simultaneously rejuvenating his aged body and restoring him to his prime physical condition. The speed and efficiency of this process were so overwhelming that even top-tier warriors like Goku and Vegeta had to tread carefully. In the past, Moro brought destruction and extinction to over 320 planets, including the Iragi star system. His brutality forced the Grand Supreme Kai to sacrifice most of his divine power to seal away Moro's magic, leaving him powerless and imprisoned for 10 million years. Yet even under the watch of the Galactic Patrol, Moro eventually found a way to escape. Upon his release, Moro immediately began a campaign to regain his strength, devouring the energy of planets while directly clashing with Goku and Vegeta. Moro's energy absorption ability far surpassed others with similar powers, such as Android 19, weakening opponents to the point they could no longer transform or unleash their full power. Even more dangerous, Moro could transfer the stolen energy to his subordinates, turning ordinary henchmen into formidable warriors and assembling a true army of destruction. Android 17 and Android 18 are masterpieces of Dr. Gero semi-artificial beings possessing combat power far beyond most warriors in the universe. From the moment of their creation, they were programmed with a single mission: eliminate Son Goku. Unlike many other ruthless villains, they didn't kill indiscriminately. Their focus remained solely on their programmed target. In fact, despite having enough power to destroy Earth, they simply didn't bother because there was no reason to. The power of 17 and 18 was enough to defeat Super Saiyan Vegeta and several top-tier fighters in just a few moves, shaking the entire Z-Fighter team. But after Dr. Gero was eliminated, the chain of programming was broken. At that point, their remaining humanity gradually surfaced. Android 18 chose a peaceful life, marrying Krillin and giving birth to their daughter Marin. Android 17 withdrew to the forest, becoming a park ranger dedicated to protecting nature, all while continuing to train quietly. The peak of their evolution came during the Tournament of Power, where Android 17 returned and battled on equal footing with the strongest fighters across the universes. He ultimately became the last one standing, securing victory for Universe 7 through intelligent tactics and unwavering willpower. From emotionless machines, 17 and 18 found their own paths, becoming free warriors with ideals and hearts of their own. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos.